let me ask you about something that's very topical here to the state of California that just came down the pipeline. The California State Universities just initiated a caste discrimination policy. We've been seeing this take place all over the country in different realms. This is the largest state university system in the country, something like 500,000 students affected. We saw impassioned pleas from many people during the public comments. We've heard also some criticism in that process. Obviously, in this virtual scenario, we're conducting this interview virtually. It's a little different dynamic when you get to meet people in person and to give full context. So there's a lot of folks that have reached out and said, hey, we don't feel like the full story was told in this matter. Give us your thoughts on these budding controversies, because we saw something in Santa Clara County recently where the Human Rights Commission had a hearing about caste. We're seeing this topic pop up all over the country.
Sure. No, thanks for asking that question. It was just voted on Tuesday by the full board of the CSU to approve it. I'm against discrimination in all forms, and that's an important starting point. But I also have concerns about adding caste discrimination in a policy like this. And I think my worry stems from the unintended consequences of doing so. We're living in difficult times, and I think it's important to remember that there are forces along this political spectrum, from the right and the left, that are trying to divide us. I have concerns because although caste might seem like it applies to everybody, all the discussion in this debate of this policy and in others have centered around Indians and Hindu Americans. And so having a policy that's so closely associated with our community raises questions about it being singled out. Will the policy only apply to Indians? And how will it be implemented if someone's caste is unknown? Again, I'm against discrimination and against caste discrimination, but there still needs to be, I think, more analysis about how this policy gets implemented. There could be issues where you have students or professors that are wrongly accused, if based on promotions or grades a student gets. And so I want to better. I would have liked there to be more discussion and analysis about this policy before it was implemented by the state university.
Well, to be frank, I think the fact that you stated this here in this interview, I find a lot of people are unwilling to publicly talk about this issue because it is so sensitive. And let's face it, in this era of social media, if you say something along the lines of, let's take a measured approach, you may be called out for being casteist or some other slur against your character. So where is the balance? I guess these are one of the more sensitive topics that we've been going out of our way to cover because we think it's a very important topic that deserves to be heard in full transparency and hearing all the arguments. So how would you be able to talk to any number of the folks that were adamant and supported this policy, and obviously it was adopted by CSU?
When I first learned about, I'd followed this issue before, but on Friday and Saturday, I was contacted by faculty that had concerns about this policy. And I reached out to the California Lieutenant Governor, Eleni Kounalakis. She also serves on the board of the CSU. She served as a US ambassador. She served on the World Council of Religions. And I wanted to let her know these concerns that I had and other faculty had about a policy like this. And that's how I would try to approach this, right? Having conversations. So when I talked to the Lieutenant Governor, she totally understood where I was coming from. And she understood that there could be unintended consequences and that there might be a reason to reflect on this further. I think we need conversations like that at all levels of government. I think that this had already been approved by the Student Association, by the California Faculty Association before it reached the full board. If people are concerned about these type of issues, we have to have more engagement around at an earlier in the stage of the debate and raise our concerns and these issues in support and against these measures to have a full debate. And so I think that I'd recommend that I have conversations like that with other leaders in government to underscore the risks that they might not be aware of. And I encourage everybody else, all of your viewers and faculty who are at the CSU, to just stay involved and get engaged earlier in these discussions so that you can have an active voice and so that our voice can be heard really on every issue that's before us.